Chan was in the Wuling Union shopping district, and he was thinking about how Earth Village's agriculture development is rapidly growing, and because of this, he was able to make an excuse about wanting to start an industrial revolution, so he lied to Xiaowu and said he's here to do some research. And there was a lovely silver in front of him, but he didn't see it because he was preoccupied with how soon he needed to make a decision, and he must return after finishing his business so that his secrets are not leaked. Finally, he spotted the silver and was surprised that it was 3,000 gold coins, but he anticipated it since it is a martial arts trade market. He stretched out to grab the silver, hoping to bite the bullet with this silver, and that he would have to pay it without being a martial artist. However, someone whacked his hand painfully with a hand fan, causing Chan to scream in agony. Chan stared at the man who had smashed a hand fan into his hand and asked him what he was doing. The man laughed arrogantly and informed him that he wasn't a martial artist and that this was a martial arts trade market, but he still entered. The man just informed Chan that he was decreasing the union reputation. Lu Chani is his name. But before Chan and Lu Chani could quarrel, someone grabbed the silver and talked to Lu Chani, telling her that whether the Wuling Union's reputation is good or bad is not up to him. Lu Chani was astonished to see her and recognize her, while Chan was stunned to see her and wonder who this person was. The girl who was conversing with Lu Chani informed Chan that this was merely a price tag. He can always negotiate if it is too pricey. Ling Zi is the daughter of Wuling Union Master. She then announced to the merchant that she would purchase the silver. She then begged him to do it for 100 gold coins. While the Wuling Union Master's daughter Ling Zi was chatting to the merchant, Lu Chani was blushing and talked to her hesitantly, telling her that it had been a long time since he had seen her and complimenting her on how lovely she had grown. But Ling Zi didn't hear him, and the shopkeeper was surprised to find Wuling Union Master's daughter here. The shopkeeper agreed, telling her she could, and Ling Zi smiled at Chan, indicating to him that even if something was pricey, you could still negotiate for it. Chan was astounded by this girl's haggling skills. Ling Zi handed him the silver, and Chan pulled out the money and offered it to her, and she received it. Lu Chani continued to talk to her, asking whether she liked the birthday gift he gave her. Lu Chani recalled something, and he informed Ling Zi that his uncle was about to propose marriage to her family, so he wanted to advise that they marry. Ling Zi was irritated and angered at this person for bothering her, and refusing to leave her alone. Ling Zi moaned in frustration and informed him, "He's so annoying! It's like a fly constantly buzzing. It's giving me a headache," as she swatted him away. As he shouted out in agony, Lu Chani was blown away. Lu Chani merely lay there since he was unconscious. Ling Zi recalls that Chan is a mortal, not a martial artist, and she asked Mr. Mortal as to why he desires the silver. Chan responded by saying he wanted to make a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry for someone special to him. "Oh, what a coincidence, my house has a forging room," Ling Zi said as she grasped his hand. "I'll take you there," she promised. Chan tried to convince her that it was okay since he had a forging room at his mountain, but the girl didn't care because they were already there. Chan was in the Wuling Union forgery for 3 days. Chan sighed with relief as he opened the door, having finished forging what he needed to forge. Ling Zi turned to face him and inquired if he was finally finished. She also requested if she may see it. Chan presented it to her and assured her that everything was all right. It was releasing little amounts of Chan's energy as he was displaying it to her. Ling Zi was astounded by such superb workmanship and informed him that whomever it was for would really like it. When she looked at it again, she assumed it was merely a piece of jewelry with no specific significance, not realizing it was more special than she imagined. Chan pocketed the jewelry and thanked her for everything, reminding her that if she needed anything more in the future, she should just ask. Ling Zi smiled, assuring him that he was welcome and that it wasn't a big problem. Ling Zi and Chan went out, with Chan apologizing for leaving her forge room filthy. Chan then informed her that he wanted to purchase a musical instrument, and he asked her if she knew where the greatest shop was. Ling Zi answered, informing him it was not a problem since it would be cleaned by the staff. While Chan and Ling Zi were conversing, they were unaware that someone was monitoring them. Lin Chuxing, the master of the Wuling Union and Ling Zi's father, was that guy. And he was perplexed as to why Ling Zi was with the expert. They seemed to be so close, he thought. He wondered whether she was permitted to be with the expert, and he wondered if it wasn't cruel. Xiaowu was walking alone at the time, thinking about how Chan had lately gone early and returned late, and not spoken to her. She wondered if he became tired of her. What she didn't know is that Chan planned something extremely special for her, but he wanted to keep it a secret, so he was going early and returning late. She decided to ask him to investigate. After she finished pondering, she observed someone yelling at someone, telling that person that he was not allowed here and should go. Chan smiled and informed him that the client was the emperor. "Do you treat your ruler in this manner?" he inquired, his tone devoid of grief or hatred. "Okay, before I go on, I just want to mention that I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure whether Chan realizes he's the emperor or if it's just a joke to him, so I'm not sure, but we'll find out in the future if he really believes he's the emperor." Anyway, Ling Zi furiously warned Lu Chani that if he wanted to play power and prestige, he should return to the intoxicated immortal building. "The Wuling Union isn't your turf," she snarled. Ling Zi was still enraged that Lu Chani felt he was always correct only because he was a subordinate of the drunken immortal building, and its Wuling specialists. She thought fiercely Lu Chani ignored what Ling Zi said and said at Chan, "What emperor if you are immortal? This treasure is charged with spiritual force. If a mortal comes into contact with it, it will lose its spiritual vitality. It will be dirty," he informed him. Xiaowu interjected, informing Lu Chani that the goods in this room are not befitting of the title. "Treasures!" When Chan saw her, he was stunned, and Ling Zi only wanted to know who had shocked Chan so much. Xiaowu frowned and inquired whether he had come to purchase such an awful item. As she brought out the heavenly demon chain that Xiaoyin had given him, she questioned him whether it was better than the one here. Chan got tense and nervously chuckled. Ling Zi was taken aback since she had not expected Chan's partner to be an immortal with such a unique personality. And Xiaowu handed Chan the heavenly demon chain, to which he answered, saying that he didn't need it. He said that he just wanted to surprise her with it. Xiaowu was taken aback that Chan wanted to surprise her with the heavenly demon chain. Chan began to play the heavenly demon chain, and he began to sing, saying, "Happy birthday to you," and a magnificent aura appeared about the scene as he sang. And he kept singing, saying things like, "Goodbye to all your troubles, hello to your loved ones, happy birthday, I wish you eternal happiness." Xiaowu flushed as she was pleased that her lover had wished her a happy birthday, and the others surrounding her began to applaud as they were astonished by the beautiful show, except for Lu Chani, who was wondering why he was also cheering. Chan handed her the necklace and wished her a happy birthday, Xiaowu. She was relieved to realize that he had just gone to prepare for this. Chan consented, assuring her that he merely wanted to make her birthday memorable. Before Chan could give Xiaowu her present, Ling Zi clapped her hands, realizing that Xiaowu was the significant person he was referring to. Xiaowu turned around and inquired who she was. Chan presented Ling Zi to her, telling her that she is Ling Zi and that it is because of her that he was able to acquire silver to construct this bracelet. Ling Zi then informed him that she wants to accompany him on his vacation since he wants to reward her. And it's been a long time since she went out to have fun, she added. Chan inquired cautiously if that was okay. He didn't want to bring this girl since he wanted to have some fun with Xiaowu, and he didn't want to bring a third wheel. Ling Zi pretended to weep as she told Chan that her uncle was forcing her to marry. "Chan, if you don't want to take me with you, I'm going to spend my entire life with that idiot," she said as she pointed at Lu Chani, the idiot. Lu Chani's eyes widened tremendously as he drooled gazing at Ling Zi. Chan smiled sheepishly, unsure what to say. Ling Zi giggled within her head, knowing that Chan didn't anticipate that to happen to him, and she told herself, I have a reason to run away from home. Ling Zi grasped Xiaowu's hand and told him she didn't care before Chan could say anything. She only wanted to have fun with Sister Xiaowu. Hearing this, Xiaowu was taken aback. Chan was surprised that she had become a third wheel. He paused briefly before agreeing, assuring her that she may, but not to make any problem, as he clenched his teeth in fury. Food and supplies were placed on the ground, and Chan muttered in annoyance as he realized he had forgotten to bring salt. Xiaowu assured him she would walk to the store and get some. Chan smiled and told her to hurry. Chan, Xiaowu, and Ling Zi were unaware that they were being observed, and the guy in the bushes grinned, knowing that this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for him, and all he has to do is wait for Xiaowu to go before making his move. Meanwhile, Xiaowu was taken aback by how quickly she was moving since the bracelet that Chan had given her had such an astonishing impact. Looking at the two magnificent white wings on Xiaowu's back, she grinned, knowing that the Void's spiritual sword contains the power of space, and this mirage feather has insane speed. She wondered whether Chan intended to use her to pursue the way of justice. She thought to herself, thinking about it is kind of exciting. Xiaowu flew even faster, and she vanished as she approached her destination. And she chided herself, reminding herself that now is not the time to have crazy ideas, since Chan and Ling Zi are waiting for her to bring salt. After Xiaowu went, the old guy emerged from the bushes and began to choke Ling Zi, and the crazy man was chuckling and threatening to murder her, while the crazy man began to mutter insane things that even I couldn't understand. Chan talked gently, informing the insane guy that he couldn't help but make a move. The mad guy stared at him in silence, and Chan lied, telling him that he knew he was following them and that Xiaowu's departure was a ruse to get him to come out. The insane guy informed him that anything he was saying didn't scare him, and if that was the case, why isn't she coming to save him? He inquired, believing Chan was bluffing. Which is correct since his hands were behind his back and trembling, yet his face was serene and comfortable, and his hands revealed how he genuinely felt on the inside. Chan then answered to the elderly man, informing him that he alone was capable of defeating him. The insane guy smirked and told Chan that he was simply a mortal. What can you possibly do? Ling Zi peered at Chan, still straining to break out of the madman's choke, and wondered whether Chan was bluffing to gain time. She decided to go along with it. Even though it was difficult for her, she began to speak, telling the mad guy that he is an idiot, which she questioned, stating that if he is a mortal, why would I be with him? Hearing this, the insane guy felt stunned, and Chan explained that he regards him as a mortal since his domain is beyond his understanding. He stated this while unaware that what he had just said was accurate despite his ignorance. While he stated those words, he reached for a leaf. He questioned Ling Zi whether she had always wished to study the Shao Chan's flying sword after he took the leaf. Today, I'll show it to you, and he stated it so firmly that it seemed nearly true. Chan smiled confidently and told the insane guy that the Shao Chan's flying sword could only reveal its real strength at a vital time. Chan explained something he just thought of, claiming that the first realm of Shao Chan's flying sword exists in his hands, not in his head, which means he have a sword but his mind doesn't. The insane guy had a realization that he finally understood, and he yelled, "What nonsense is that?" The insane guy threatened him, threatening to murder her if he got near him. Chan proceeded to teach the insane guy that the second domain of Shao Chan's flying sword was a blade that resided inside his head and hands. The insane guy sweated profusely as he realized Chan had no cultivation whatsoever. He wondered whether it might be an expert. "I simply can't see it," he said. Chan laughed and informed the mad guy that the highest realm of Shao Chan's flying sword that only exists inside the mind. As long as there is a sword in his head, even this leaf within my fingers can kill, he added confidently. Chan then warned Ling Zi to be cautious since he could only do it once. Chan sounded so confident that even the madman began to believe him, and Ling Zi smiled, seeing that the crazy man was already panicking, and she readied herself to act. Chan wondered to himself why Xiao hadn't returned yet, for he couldn't pretend any longer. Another tree leaf flew near the crazy guy, and the crazy man worried whether Chan was going to throw that leaf since he had no idea what was going on. Ling Zi saw her opportunity, and shoved him away with all her might. As he was shoved back, the insane guy screamed in anguish. Ling Zi began to run as she yelled for Chan to go. Chan, on the other hand, did not flee since he did not anticipate Ling Zi to escape from the insane guy. The insane guy launched an assault with his purple dark energy and swore, realizing he had been duped by the brats. The mad guy came towards them and yelled, warning Ling Zi that he would make her life worse than death. Ling Zi turned around in shock, and Chan was frightened since he didn't anticipate the insane man to want to murder them so quickly. Chan closed his eyes and cursed, believing it was finished, but what he didn't know was that he had instinctively employed Xiao Chan's flying sword, and Ling Zi was astonished to see it. The assault was so swift that the insane guy couldn't evade it, and he was struck and blasted away, coughing up blood. Something flew in front of Elder Deng's face. Elder Zhang became attentive, and he was perplexed by what had happened just now. He was stunned a split second later, detecting a tremendous Tao energy, and he wondered whether it was Master. The insane man was unconscious on the ground or dead. Ling Zi punched Chan's chest, telling him she was terrified, and she yelled furiously at him that he should have warned her he was an expert in disguise. "You mean it?" she snarled. Chan did not respond to what she had said. Instead, he reassured her that everything would be alright. When Elder Zhang looked around, he saw Chan and said, "Mr. Chan! What a strange coincidence to see you here." Elder Zhang's presence astonished Chan. Elder Zhang wondered what Master was doing here and whether he had forgiven Lu Shinua. Chan thought Elder Zhang was the one who fought the insane guy, and he knew he was a martial artist master, and he was relieved that with him present, there would be no more sneak attacks. Ling Zi was astounded that there was someone stronger than her father on this planet. She felt she had to be extremely courteous to Mr. Mortal, as she didn't think he would be a matchless expert. Elder Zhang and Chan were both stunned, unsure what to say to one another. Chan was the first to speak out, telling Elder Zhang that they had met today and that it had to be destiny, and that they were planning a picnic. He inquired hesitantly, "How about joining us?" Elder Zhang concurred. Someone was sinking deep below as there was a coffin in the center of that seal, and the man inside the seal grumbled to himself, understanding that he was yet another person who overestimates himself. He's referring to the person who is submerged. The person going deeper underwater was Lu Shinua. The one in the coffin opened the casket slightly and peered at Lu Shinua, thinking that he wanted to cast his greedy eyes on his skullduggery constitution. He didn't care who Lu Shinua was since he was going to murder him. However, he began to realize that his calculation was true, that the spiritual energy of the Shinwu continent is starting to blossom, when the guy in the coffin withdrew his slim hand and a green energy was discharged from his body. He thought enthusiastically as he tightened his hand that now is the best time for him, the celestial thief, to awaken. But before anything could happen, someone used the fishing rod to reach deep into the water, and green energy couldn't touch the fishing rod. And before Lu Shinua could be killed, he was spared, and the guy in the coffin was surprised to see that he couldn't match with this great energy, and he pondered who owned it. The guy in the casket reasoned that he had been sleeping for thousands of years. How can such a tremendous presence exist in this world? He questioned himself. The guy closed the coffin once again, recognizing that the Shinwu continent is no longer categorized as a powerhouse of the Emperor realm. The reason for this is because the man in the coffin can feel that this strong person is in a higher realm than the Emperor realm. And the guy who rescued Lu Shinua was Chan, who pulled him out of the sea by chance. He was really fishing, but his rod caught Lu Shinua and Chan wondered if it was a human since he thought he had caught a fish. After pulling Lu Shinua from the water, Chan instructed Elder Zhang to lend him a hand. Elder Zhang was stunned to see Lu Shinua being brought out of the water. He had been looking for him for a long time and had never imagined that he would be at the bottom of the lake. Chan began CPR by speaking to himself, telling himself to lean forward, keep his arms straight, and squeeze twice per second. Chan was inadvertently sending a big quantity of Dao energy into Lu Xiunhua's body while doing so. Ling Zi was amazed that, despite the fact that individuals of Saint Realm may only transmit a limited quantity of Dao, she wondered what Chan's mortal realm was. Elder Zhang was just relieved that Chan has forgiven this brat. Chan muttered to himself. Next was mouth to mouth, and he started to get closer to, okay, I'm sorry. This is something I can't do. This is simply making me feel uneasy. I'm moving on to the next image. Elder Zhang merely froze as he was shocked as Xiaowu grabbed the bottle of salt a bit more, and it cracked, and it shattered. Xiaowu smiled darkly and said, What are you doing? Chan stopped what he was doing and glanced up. He was surprised to find Xiaowu here, and he attempted to explain right away, assuring her that this was not what she expected. He screamed, urging her to listen to him explain. A few minutes later, Lu Xunhua awoke blushing and whispered to himself that he was fortunate, that the expert personally gave him everlasting energy, implying that Chan bestowed divine energy on him. But the fact that he's not upset by what occurred to him just now is troubling. While Lu Xunhua was still thinking, Elder Zhang said, Stop being in heat, and help me now as vines attacked him. Lu Xunhua shrieked as he evaded the crushing vines behind him. Lu Xunhua exhaled in relief as the assault almost touched him. Elder Zhang, on the other hand, was apprehended while cursing, realizing that his energy was being taken by the vines. Elder Zhang, Qin Yin, and the Kola beast had already been apprehended, and Qin Potion said, What a coincidence, as he attempted to laugh. Elder Zhang was shocked that they had also been apprehended. He cursed once again, recognizing that the manner this Banyan Spirit strikes is unusual, and he is unable to see through its feints and assaults. The Banyan Spirit appeared and spoke, informing Elder Zhang that he can't see through. And it's normal that he can't, saying that this inverted yin-yang barrier and that this is his territory, and that he may cast illusions and changes with a dark smirk on his lips, he continued. Now be good and become my fertilizer. Elder Zhang was irritated with this individual and informed him that he was rather arrogant, saying, How about he beat them first then talk later? The Banyan Spirit was taken aback that this person would speak to him in this manner. Suddenly, Lu Xunhua separated his head from his body, and the Banyan Spirit was astonished that his head had been severed from his body. But the Banyan Spirit did not perish as he grinned and said, What a wonderful sneak attack! The Banyan Spirit then informed him that he had merely targeted his clone. This is my realm, he boasted. It's impossible to beat me. Lu Xunhua was not surprised or shocked since he was peaceful and serene, and the true Banyan Spirit sneaked behind him, thinking Lu Xunhua didn't notice. The hand fan that Lu Xunhua had thrown at the Banyan Spirit was returning to Lu Xunhua. Lu Xunhua adjusted his head to intercept the Banyan Spirit's onslaught with his hand fan. And Lu Xunhua inquired of the Banyan Spirit as to why he had been injured by his strike once again. Lu Xunhua sliced the Banyan Spirit's chest with the hand fan, bragging that he earned the Heavenly Thief Emperor talent while in the abyss. Your false illusion and nothing but tricks, he muttered. Elder Zhang tried to wiggle his way out of the vines and yelled at Lu Xunhua. Stop acting cool! Assist us in getting down, he said as he was enraged. Qin Yin exhaled, relieved that they had been saved. Qin Yin then questioned Elder Zhang why he had come here, to which Elder Zhang answered that he had come to locate her, and that Master had directed him to fake a message, that they were waiting at the Drunken Immortal building. Qin Yin smiled and told Elder Zhang that she would be looking for him. People were wandering together in the evening in the Drunken Immortal City, animatedly conversing with one another. Many people were looking at the four guys who were singing on stage, and many females were surprised that they were the four princes. Another amusing girl said, Look at me! Let me have your babies. said another lovely female. All of these lovely ladies remind me of Sakura, which I despise. Anyway, Lu Chani performed that thing where many fun females would be impressed, and they were silly fangirls. This was what Ling Zi and Xiaowu were thinking, and Chan was amused that Lu Chani thought he was attractive. That fangirl next to Chan was drooping, and she wiped her drool from her lips. Lu Chani just thanked everyone for their support. As their host, Lu Chani informed everyone that today is the annual Tianjiao banquet. And, he claims, he is qualified to challenge everyone in here. That is who he will confront. When he stated this, he glanced at Chan, who cursed, having a horrible feeling about it. And Lu Chani gestured to Chan, informing him that he wanted to confront him. "Chan fan, do you dare compete with me?" he shouted loudly. Everyone around Chan was stunned. Chan was just taken aback. Lu Chani keeps telling him that they will compete in composition. And the loser will crawl the bridge while yelling, "I'm trash." From start to finish, he said firmly that he would win. Unfortunately for him, Chan fan is the expert who can do the impossible. Chan shrugged and questioned why he would accept his challenge if he wasn't going to. But he stopped himself from saying anything. As the ladies surrounding him screamed and yelled at him, he dares reject their brother. He was surrounded by danger. Someone yelled, "Hell is empty! The devil has arrived!" The other demon lady yelled at him, threatening to expose him if he dared to refuse. Chan couldn't take it any longer and consented to compete with Lu Chani. Xiaowu applauded Chan, telling him she believed in him. Ling Zi just told him that he had to win. Chan gave them a thumbs up and told them not to be concerned. He will undoubtedly win. Lu Chani crossed his arms and ridiculed him, saying he was only a regular mortal. Why is he so sure of himself, he wondered. Chan didn't respond as he prepared to play the heavenly demon Qin. Lu Chani smirked, believing that Chan would be able to tell the difference between mortals and martial experts. "I have spent money to purchase a magnificent piece. You only have a limited time to produce one. You will never beat me," he reasoned. Chan began to play the heavenly demon Qin, and a random female was impressed at how well he performed. A random person was irritated as he tightened his teeth, realizing how amazing his playing was. Chan just thought to himself that this was only a precursor. The chorus comes next, he reasoned. He began to sing, saying the clock chimes the signal for going home. 3 people in his life seemed to have a slight trace of remorse. Lu Chani was taken aback when he heard his singing. Chan began to sing even louder, stating that now there is just a shell to greet the beautiful years, standing tight to freedom in the rainstorm. A life filled with hopeless battles, faith in one's potential to influence the future. May I ask who can accomplish it? He continued to sing, and all the guys cheered for him. Many people weren't expecting him to be this excellent. Many ladies were taken aback. He then said, "Mortals have dignity too. They too should be respected. I accepted the challenge just to prove that we mortals are not inferior to martial artists," he said loudly. Xiaowu was taken aback. She was astounded that Chan had upended the Shinwu continent's order and placed humans and martial artists on the same footing. She eventually realizes that this is his goal. Chan did this because the weak are prey to the strong. It is the law of nature. If he wants to change it, even a little, it will be difficult, he reasoned. Everybody was rooting for him. Many people were astounded to learn that he is a truly gifted royal. A fangirl said, "I want to marry him." Ling Zi commended him, saying that his singing was great and that she was intrigued by it. Xiaowu also complimented him. Chan glanced at all of these individuals, noting how exaggerated they were, and he knew if he hadn't spoken the Declaration of Independence, they wouldn't be bowing to him, he reasoned. Chan spun around as he saw something approaching him. And it was the Kola beast who was kissing his feet for some reason. Chan yelled, wondering what the hell was this. Qinin shoved the Kola beast away from Chan and cried at him to stop. The Kola beast didn't pay attention since he was so thrilled to see his master, and Chan was astonished to see Qinin. Chan was surprised to see Qinin arrive in the drunken immortal city. Qinin pretended it was a coincidence, and she informed him that this was a rare beast she had captured. She asked him whether it scared him. The koala beast just greeted his master in his own language. Chan took note of what she said. He asked as to why she dubbed it the koala beast. She told him that's because its blood is sweet and sour, extremely good, just like the koala Xiaowu talked about, and that's why I nicknamed it the koala beast, she stated. The Coca-Cola beast just shook his tail like a dog. Ling Zi was astonished and intrigued by this cola when she heard this. Ling Zi then inquired of Chan if she might sample this cola. Chan asked Xiaoyin if they may take a drink. Qinin consented, telling him that the qilin was for drinking, so of course it's alright. She smiled. The cola opened a wound the following day, and he emptied his cola blood into the cups of beverages. When the koala beast was finished, it began to heal the wound by licking it, and Xiaoyin questioned worriedly. What does he think? Chan tried the cola and informed her that it tasted like cola, but it was lacking something crucial, carbon dioxide. He stated. When Xiaoyin inquired about carbon dioxide, Chan answered that it is a kind of common gas. He claims that the air we breathe is rich in carbon dioxide. But Chan assured her that the cola would be good even without the carbon dioxide, and he thanked her for the cola. Chan suddenly recalled something and asked Xiaoyin if he could adjust her heavenly demon qin, as he thought it was hers and he didn't know that it was his. Xiaoyin replied, saying that the heavenly demon qin was a gift for him and that he could do anything he wanted with it. The koala beast was simply relaxing and munching something when someone talked to him, attempting to summon him. When the koala questioned who it was, the guy whispered again, saying it was he, the clan elder. The koala beast recalled that when he was young and fragile, they called him a dog and named him Chi-Tu Dog. The Coca-Cola beast informed him that he traveled to the Forbidden Zone in search of an opportunity, and was almost killed by him. What exactly does he want now? He inquired. He seemed completely uninterested in what he was going to say. The guy put on a fake smile as he appeared to be polite to the koala beast, telling him that even after all these years, he still blames him. Of course, you bastard, the man told the koala beast to forget about the past, the vines of the mystical beast. He is destined to lead the Qilin clan to greatness, and he informed him that this is his mission and responsibility. The koala beast informed him that he didn't want to be a legendary beast, but rather a koala beast, and that from now on, I'm the koala beast's ancestor, he added with a smile. And he boasted a bit, declaring that his offspring will revere him from generation to generation, having nothing to do with the Qilin clan. He did this to demonstrate to him that he does not need him, or the Qilin clan. The clan elder was taken aback when he heard this. The clan leader became concerned and asked him why he had such beliefs. The clan elder inquired whether humans had brainwashed him. The elder was even more surprised that they had placed a roof over his head. He cursed, seeming to be outraged, as he inquired who was so daring as to treat the mythological beast like a pet. The clan elder promised Qilin that he would surely assist him with his rage. The soda beast informed him not to worry since he was the one who chose to be a pet for his owner. The clan elder was enraged for no reason, yelling violently that he would murder his master so that he would know who to listen to. As he fell asleep, the koala beast didn't care. Xiaowu began cultivating as her palms shone with a green aura. She was pleased that she had progressed to the next level when she finished cultivating since there was a green aura surrounding her body, signaling that she had become stronger. Chan is repairing that celestial demon qin. While she was leveling up, thunder was heard, and Chan glanced up, as if perplexed, knowing that everything had been fine only a short time before, and now there's thunder. The heavenly tribulation attempted to strike Chan's home, but it appeared and bounced off. The clan elder was taken aback when the heavenly tribulation was promptly returned. He was surprised that the individual in the home could bypass the tribulation and enter the emperor realm. He wondered whether the koala beast was a saint. He chose to forget about it, and he fled in terror as he didn't want to deal with whoever was in that residence. A little toddler called out to her mother. The small girl asked her mother to wake up as the sun was out. Xiaoyin was taken aback, wondering where the youngster had come from, and she instructed the child not to yell. The little child informed her mother with a cute face that after she handed over the heavenly demon Qin to Master after Master had rectified the heavenly demon Qin she was born, she then questioned whether Master and her are her mom and father. Xiaoyin shouted, "What?" Chan abruptly knocked on the door and asked Xiaoyin whether she was awake. Xiaoyin was taken aback that Chan was here. "Mama, let's go, Qiner is waiting for you," said the small girl, jumping on the bed. When Xiaoyin answered the door, Chan inquired whether she had seen the heavenly demon Qin. Qiner turned to face the door and saw her father, who immediately made her happy. Xiaoyin saw that the youngster had the heavenly demon Qin aura, and she wondered whether the master could create gods. Chan wanted to tell her that last night. Before he could say more, he stopped. He was stunned when he noticed her face, and he asked what was wrong with her, but he couldn't complete the phrase. Chan immediately spoke forward, asking in a frightened tone, "Why is your mouth swollen like that?" When Xiaoyin finally realized what had occurred, she was surprised and perplexed as to what had happened to her mouth. Xiaoyin hid her face in shame and informed Chan that after hearing what he said yesterday, she intended to blow air into the Qilin's blood, but even after blowing all night, it still didn't change into coke. "Oh, I understand why her lips are big. She was blowing all night, which must have caused her lips to swell. I really hope she gets better." What Chan didn't realize was that Xiaoyin still didn't grasp what carbon dioxide was, since he only told her in a simplest form. But he did tell her that carbon dioxide is difficult to dissolve into liquids and that she needed to use a pressurizer. Xiaoyin unveiled her face once again, with an expression that even I couldn't understand, and she inquired as to what a pressurizer was. Chan pretended to cough. He averted his gaze, informing her that if she truly wanted to drink cola, she should construct a pressurizer. Chan instructed her to accompany him, and said he would provide her with a list of items to construct a pressurizer. While he was speaking, he thought that if he could improve his technological understanding of the Shinwa continent, he would be able to have the power on par to a martial artist. Qina arrived and said, "Papa." She took Xiaoyin's hand in hers and inquired why she had left the room. Qina hesitated, but she called out to her dad again, staring at him with interest. Chan's eyes widened in surprise as he said, "Xiaoyin, was that your child?" he inquired, still stunned. Xiaoyin lied, telling him that she spotted her asleep in the forest when she woke up early to harvest, so she took her back with her. She stated. Her lips seemed to be improving. When Chan asked whether she was alone and if she saw her parents or relatives, Xiaoyin hesitated, but she answered, telling him no, while the small girl continued to stare at him with curiosity. Heavenly Qina stares at him in admiration, telling him that she wishes mom and dad were together. As tears welled up in her eyes, she talked in a cute voice, adding that she wished to have a family with mama and papa. Chan gripped his chest in delight at how cute this girl was. Chan glanced worriedly at Xiaoyin, then back at the cute kid, assuring her that she was correct, a family needed to be together, and Xiaoyin calmed the youngster, urging her not to weep. Qinu was overjoyed that they would finally be a family, and Chan took her up and cradled her in his arms. And she began to sleep, muttering, "Papa, Mama," along with Qiner. Chan became sad and that a young child was abandoned in the forest by herself. "It's not simple to survive," he reasoned. Xiaoyin merely stared at him, saying nothing. Chan smiled brightly and recommended that because she mistaken them for her parents, they should work together to provide her a pleasant upbringing. And he asked Xiaoyin what she thought. Xiaoyin was pleased to inform him that if it was for her comfort, she would gladly do it. Xiaoyin flushed that it had turned out this way. In the abyss, as they hurried towards the conflict, 3 demons were heading someplace. Suddenly, a lady assaulted the demons, muttering to herself. These annoying demons again. As she used her fire technique to strike them, which they resisted with their dark energy. The Empress attacked these demons because she was irritated that the demons could continually breach her dynasty's boundaries. Don't think you can escape, she said seriously. One of the demons was overjoyed that she had arrived, and he ordered the others to attack, which they did. The Empress utilized her fire technique to inform the demons that they were overconfident. Both the demons screamed in pain after being attacked by the dragons, and she informed them both that they would not be her opponent. Show yourself, she instructed another demon who was hidden. The other two defeated demons glanced at the new demon that emerged via teleportation. The demon grinned darkly as he exclaimed that the wisp of aura given upon him by the Supreme One had finally come in useful. As black energy surrounded his body, he murmured. The Empress and the demon clashed with each other. The Empress was astonished to learn that this was the Demon Emperor, knowing that he had been destroyed for almost 200,000 years. She then inquired as to how he might be reborn, if she wanted to. No, the devil said he'd tell her. The Demon Emperor told her that the ways of the Emperor world were beyond her comprehension. And as he struck her with an energy blast, the Empress screamed in agony as she plummeted from the sky. The Demon Emperor planned another assault, informing her that her reign would end here. The Empress began to realize that this is why Mr. Chan refused to allow them to assault the central region, which is home to Emperor Realm powerhouses who are being reborn one after the other. She learned today that irresponsible assaults will result in death. Suddenly, the Demon Emperor's arm was cut off, and the Demon Emperor exclaimed, "What?" He couldn't believe somebody had done this to him. Xiaowu then began to shred his body apart, reminding him that he's already this arrogant with a tiny wisp of aura. Meanwhile, the Demon Emperor was screaming in anguish and was not listening. The Empress was still stunned that she had ripped the Demon Emperor apart in a single strike. The arm of the Emperor Demon dropped into the lake and traveled straight down to the odd coffin. The odd guy within the coffin opened it, and noticed that this hand belonged to the Demon Emperor. And he wasn't shocked that the old creature couldn't wait and decided to reborn as soon as possible. And he didn't understand why it was so difficult to devour the world. Xiaowu gazed beneath the lake and saw the guy who emerged from the coffin, and she somehow read his thoughts and heard all he said. And she smiles cruelly at him, informing him that the Emperor Realm's specialists want to resuscitate in the globe. And unfortunately for you, you have misjudged, she continued, and the guy in the coffin halted what he was about to do as he was reaching for the Emperor Demon's arm, which was wrapped with Xiaowu's Dao energy. Xiaowu dissolved the Emperor Demon's arm, and the guy in the coffin hastily returned to the coffin and closed it, fearing that he would be murdered as well, and he thought to himself, "I miss the ancient times," he thought. The Empress greeted Mr. Chan the following day, and he smiled back, but within his mind he was upset, since after sending away Xiaoyin and Lin Zi, Xiaowu saved the Empress again. He yelled in his head, asking why it was so difficult to be just the two of them. Chan then informed her that she had heard of her love tale about her and the Supreme Emperor, that the dead is no longer alive, that even if he looks like the Supreme Emperor, he is not him, and that she should let go of the past. The Empress misinterpreted Chan's words and thought he was telling her to stop following him. She didn't want to do that because she wanted to stay by his side so she could break through the Emperor Realm, and no matter what it took, she would stay, she thought to herself. The Empress agreed with what he said, informing him that she knew he wasn't, but she missed him so terribly. "I'm not even going to say anything about how she's pretending to be upset." She lamented that she imagined him living someplace on this planet every time she saw him. She said, "Just thinking about it makes my heart bitter." Chan was taken aback and perplexed. The Empress insisted that if she let go, she would depart and never bother him again. She informed him that all she wanted was for him to allow her some space to let go of the past. And as she began to weep, Chan became even more surprised, exclaiming, "Wait! You are too serious!" A minute later he decided to tell her that it's okay, but inside his head, He was sobbing anime tears, thinking that at least she feels better, and he yelled in his head, "What about my and Xiao's happiness?" In the Fengyun Mountain air space, there was a flying ship in the air. Chan, Xiao, the Empress, and Heavenly China were playing cards, and Xiao informed the others that she only had one card left. The Empress complimented herself, informing the others that she was doing the right thing by doubling. Chan wondered why he is playing with the three of them. What about his honeymoon? He yelled, asking himself. Chan stepped up and tossed the winning cards on the table, exclaiming, "Boom!" By pronouncing this boom, he unintentionally caused the volcano to explode, which astonished everyone. Chan stared back, surprised that he uttered it, and it boomed. The Empress assured him that the cloud shape had a barrier and that it was nothing more than a volcano. The little child said to him that she wanted to witness boom booms. The Empress told Chan that his kid has a unique taste, and because we have a barrier, they should merely investigate it. A phoenix was sleeping within the Fengyun Mountain core magma room. The phoenix awoke to banging sounds and wondered what was causing such a commotion. "Why is it so loud?" he inquired aggressively. Shizhong, the elderly guy, urged everyone not to dally and to go quicker. He then told them that once they had enough flaming phoenix gold, they would get the heck out of here. All of the workers, including the old guy, were protected from the fire since they had barriers around their bodies. The other workers heard shouts and turned around to see others being burned alive, which shocked many of them. Except for the old guy, the phoenix blew everyone else away. Now before I continue, I just want to add that I don't know whether this phoenix is a he or a she, so for now I'm just going to pretend it's a he till I receive more information. Anyhow, the phoenix said, "You despicable human! How dare you pass by my Fengyun Mountain and disturb my tranquil cultivation?" He stated. "I don't think you'll make it out alive," he asserted passionately. The elderly guy yelled in terror as he realized he was about to die. And he informed the phoenix that he knew the Fengyun Mountain was Senior Nirvana's modest territory, but his master had instructed him to gather fiery phoenix riches, so the old man urged the phoenix to make an exception. The phoenix demanded to know what sect he belonged to, where he came from, and how he could behave so arrogantly. The old man was unable to answer the first question, but he was able to answer the second. The phoenix attacked him, preparing to murder him with his claws, and he told the old man that he was lying and that it was better for him to die. The old man yelled, telling the phoenix that the master was from the Legends Earth, a prohibited region. And he's now on Yuhua Island, he added, constructing his estate on the unnamed mountain. The phoenix came to a halt, and the elderly man opened his eyes, puzzled since he believed he was about to die. Yuhua Island was recognized by Phoenix, and he said to himself, "No surprise, it made sense." The old man was intrigued and inquired as to what he meant. Could Yuhua Island have something to do with Earth? He wondered. The phoenix inexplicably assured him that he would ultimately find out. He then pulled out the blazing phoenix gold, and told him that he needed it, and that it should be enough. The phoenix instructed him to take it and deliver it to his lord. The phoenix reasoned that if he could acquire advice from an Earth specialist, he would be able to accomplish his quest for immortality. The old man grabbed the gold and said he would take him there. The phoenix and the old man began to fly out of the volcano, and they collided with that clan elder who had lost something in his hand. And when the elderly guy questioned whether they struck anything, the phoenix didn't care, telling him that it's only a dog and there's no need to worry about it. When the clan elder glanced at his hand and noticed that the tower that he was holding disappeared, he fell on a cloud and pondered what just happened, and he screamed, wanting to know the location of his heavenly tower of creation. When the elder gazed down from the clouds and saw Chan clutching the ultimate celestial tower of creation, he whispered to himself that this was weird since he had heard of pie falling from the sky. But how could a tower fall from the sky, he wondered. The Empress and Xiaowu were surprised to recognize the tower, and Qiner told Chan that it's beautiful, and she loves it. Chan then encased the structure in a ring. He then informed his daughter that she would have to wait until they returned so that it could be melted down, and turned into a set of jewelry for her. Chiner consented because she was thrilled. The clan elder was horrified when Chan took his tower. He couldn't believe the highest heaven tower of creation would be demolished by him today. The clan elder screamed anime tears. The clan elder didn't even attempt to get it back since he knew it was over. Instead, he lamented that it was the clan's emperor weapon. The ship was still flying in the sky. Over the central region palace, Chiner began to run, shouting "Daddy, Mom," as she was happy, and Chan told her to slow down. When Chiner said "second mom hoodies," Chan became quiet. That is, she desired a hug from her mother, and her second mother obliged by taking her up. He worriedly looked at Xiaowu, telling her that Chiner is clueless and speaks indiscriminately, and he told her not to take it personally. Xiaowu was unconcerned, stating, "Why should I be? If you are indeed capable of bringing the emperor into your harem, I should be honored." She essentially said to him that she wants him to bring her into his harem along with other females who would adore him in the future. Someone appeared out of nowhere on top of a flying sword. He spoke out, explaining that he had heard the Empress had arrived in his humble region. "It was certainly a stroke of luck," he remarked. "His name is Xiao Zhangbai." And he introduced himself, saying, "I'm Sky Palace Lord Xiao Zhangbai. And I greet you on behalf of the Sky Palace." He stated it politely. He then bowed and said, "Your Majesty and two ladies come in and rest," and he suggested for the Sky Palace enter a friendship. The Empress was surprised that the Sky Palace wants to enter friendship with the Chan dynasty. After that, the Empress asked the Supreme Emperor whether they should follow him. Lord Xiao Zhangbai of the Sky Palace nearly lost control of his power because he couldn't figure out why the Empress required permission from this person. Chan was perplexed as to why the Empress was so courteous to this guy. But Chan consented, explaining that he was starving. Lord Xiao Zhangbai began to be more respectful to Chan, informing the Empress that he would lead Chan and the three of them. The Emperor responded nonchalantly, adding, "Sure, if you say so." The Sky Lord Xiao Zhangbai was floating in the air, contemplating something. The Sky Lord Xiao Zhangbai was well aware that the Chan dynasty had seized other regions, and he wondered whether the Empress had come to the central region to launch an attack. There were several cuisines on the table. Chan was astounded at how delicious the dinner was. When China saw the food on the table, she became hungry. They were interrupted before anybody could eat because someone utilized the technique to go to this location. When the man emerged, he grinned since he hadn't expected the Empress of the Chan dynasty to visit the central region. "Holy damn, that's a huge forehead," I thought when I first saw this artwork. In any case, the man's name is Lei Wu, ancestor. The eastern and central regions have traditionally been peaceful. He glared at her, energy crackling around his body, preparing to confront the Empress, and questioned, "What teachings does Her Majesty have to come?" Chan exclaims, "Wow! This is to be anticipated from the central region, the most developed region of the Shinwa continent." He was even more shocked that they had carefully planned a welcoming performance. Well, he believed this was a performance, not realizing that there would be a conflict and that another war was about to begin. The Empress thought about what he meant when he said welcoming performance. He saw this as Chen's method of avoiding wandering away, and she told herself that she couldn't create any difficulties. She then answered to Lei Wu's ancestor, informing him that because the ancient powers had assigned him to throw a rock to discover a means to preserve the central region from being captured by the Chan dynasty, she was certain she would prevail. And fire emerged in her palm, shocking Sky Palace Lord Xiao Zhangbai, who thought she was actually coming to take over the central region. The Empress went on to say that she wanted to test his strength and see whether he was qualified to speak to her rather than take over the central region. Lei Wu ancestor chuckled and told her that he would try his best. As he assumed a combat posture, a lightning-charged barrier emerged around him. The Empress then sent a dragon after the Lei Wu ancestor. The old man hammered the instrument he was carrying, and the dragon that was approaching slammed into the barrier, which didn't even break, and the old man grinned, telling her that if she wants to overcome him in his heavenly thunder array, she should dream on. From Chan's point of view, he was seeing things differently, and what he saw seemed like they were dancing. Wait, there's a purpose behind this. The reason for this is that Chan's eyes are so strong that anything below a certain degree of strength will be invisible to him. The reason for this is that his realm is the most powerful. Anyway, Chan was astonished by the Empress's ability to dance. He muttered to himself that her dance movements were strange, and he had never seen anything like that before. Sheener just wailed in agony, telling her father that her ears ached. Chan smiled as he thought to himself, Sheener is correct. How can an overpowering performance employ a swona, bugle, and cymbals? It's like a funeral. As he looked at the flower next to him, the Empress and Lei Wu ancestor attacked each other with their palms. Ancestor Lei Wu ridiculed the Empress, informs her that she has used a lot of energy and is becoming slower. The Empress also teased him, informing him that his strikes had gotten weaker as well. Chan played a wonderful tune on a leaf, and a green glow emanated from his hands, and he didn't notice again since he was too preoccupied with playing his music. Chan's green energy restored the Empress, and the green energy dissolved the old man's barrier, shocking him to see his powerfully thunder array shattered. The Empress utilized an air technique and yelled at the elderly man, informing him that if the expert made his move, even if he had an invincible wall, it was pointless. And the assault injured the old. Many of his bones snapped, and he died or became unconscious. Chan told Sky Palace Lord Xiao Zhangbai that the old man's physical strength isn't good, and that he nearly sprained his hip just by dancing with Her Majesty. Oh, so when the old man fell down, Chan thought by dancing with Her Majesty he nearly sprained his hip. Wow, his eyes are really powerful, huh? Chan went on to urge him that the next time, he should bring someone in better shape. The Sky Lord Xiao Zhangbai agreed, wondering who this guy is and what his cultivation base is, while Xiaowu ate quietly. The Sky Lord Xiao Zhangbai examined his face intently, and he was astonished to see that face, and he stammered, wondering whether this could be the Supreme Celestial Emperor. The folks who were seated around a circular table didn't see the green energy since it was going someplace. The weird guy informed the others that Lei Wu ancestors' cultivation had been banned. He then seized the green energy with his ability, and told the others that it seemed like the Chan dynasty was going for the heart of the central region, and there's no going back now. A girl smashed her hand on the table, warning them that if one of them fell, they would all fall. She then proposed that they all band together to oppose the Chan dynasty. The lady with pink hair agreed, advising them that they should band together. The person with the sluggish look raised his hand heart, and asked everyone to wait. He then inquired as to why Jasper's representative was late and did not appear. The odd guy took advantage of this, and informed everyone loudly that the Jasper Lake Saintus is still in isolation to this day, that it is unclear whether she is dead or living, and that she is no longer fit to join the gathering hall. He smashed the green energy, and he proceeded to inform everyone that from now on, the Central Region's major troops would be us 6, he proclaimed. What he didn't realize was that the green energy was still flowing, and it had finally arrived at its objective, the Jasper Lake Forbidden Grounds. And it penetrated the Saintus's forehead, causing her to grumble and begin to awaken. You can identify who this is just by glancing at the blue hair, but if you don't, you'll find out. An irate lady yelled at the 3 idiots to hurry up, and she questioned them why they were more squeamish than her. Tang Baihu assured her that the expert would be aware of what she had done and that the Jasper Lake would be buried with her. He spoke in agony. The enraged lady threatened him, saying if he continued to speak, she would beat him to death. Zion just complained that the rock was too heavy. Oh, I remember now. Zion and his companion joined Tang Baihu in wanting to kidnap the Saintus. The Saintus suddenly emerged, asking Chihua the Furious Lady what was going on. Chihua, the Furious Lady, was surprised and perplexed that the Saintus had emerged from seclusion. Even I know who this is, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm simply going to move on gradually. Now let us return to the recap. Chihuahua revealed that the 3 lunatics had burst into the cult, and claimed they wanted to grab their peach tree of immortality, and even said they would kidnap the saintus to wash their master's underpants. Okay, the final one was really rather amusing. Just think how amusing it would be if the lazy system washed Chan's underwear. Anyway, Chihuahua stepped on the rock being carried by Tang Baihu. And she kept telling the saintus that the Holy Lord was enraged, so he apprehended and shut their cultivation. She said that they are now striving to atone for their sins. Tang Baihu clenched his teeth as the rock became heavier, but he continued to tell the saintus that Master came from earth, and being able to wash his underpants is a boon from the heavens, he remarked. This man is hilarious. She struck a contemplative attitude and said, Earth? And then she urgently asked Tang Baihu where this teacher he talked about was, and she firmly instructed him to take her to meet him. Tang Baihu was stunned and perplexed as to why she wanted to travel there, despite the fact that they were planning to abduct her in order to forcibly transport her there in the first place. But he chuckled, believing that this was Master's plan, and that Chan anticipated them to be no match for the Jasper Lake, so he arranged for the saintus to be delivered. Tang Baihu thought. Meanwhile, the saintus felt that this earth village was familiar in some way, and she thought to herself that she must see this master. Before I end this video, you can see that this is the system, but she is different, and not only that you can tell something is wrong, well, that's because the true system has not yet awakened, because when the strange man crushed the green energy, he cut the connection with Chan and the system, and as a result, only a small part of that green energy was able to awaken her, but not with all of her powers, and something else that will be explained in the next video. There is a very specific reason I am explaining this now. That's all for now.